At this first meeting between Simon, who's going to be Simon Peter, at this first meeting between Simon and Jesus, after a long night of fishing and catching nothing, Simon is tired and hungry and frustrated and disappointed, and they're doing the last few chores to clean up so that they can go home and eat and rest. And as they're washing the nets, Jesus gets into Simon's boat and tells him what to do. And like you can imagine, probably he was not happy that this man got into his boat and then told him to put out a little distance from the shore. He did it, but like it seems pretty clear he did it but grumbled about it. So then Jesus preaches, and it doesn't say how long Jesus preached. It could have been a short amount of time, or it could have been several hours. And Peter, sitting in his boat with Jesus, is listening, probably not listening very attentively. He's drowsy, and I would imagine he's only half listening because still he's so bothered and angry about such a frustrating, fruitless night of fishing. He might even be muttering to himself about this stupid lake and how difficult all this is. So then, when Jesus is finished preaching, you can imagine Peter thinking, now we can go home. And Jesus turns to him and says, put out into deep water and lower your nets for a catch. And surprisingly, Simon Peter does it, but he can't be eager to do it. He says, we have toiled all night and caught nothing, but at your command, I will let down the nets. And then almost instantly, there's this miraculous catch of fish, and the nets are not strong enough for the amount of fish they're taking in, and they begin to tear, and the boats are not big enough, and when they have brought in as much fish as they can, the boats are beginning to sink. And in the middle of straining to bring in all these fish and the astonishment at what has happened, Peter, it dawns on him who is in his boat, that God has come to him, that God is sitting in his boat. And he comes to this because by this catch of fish, Jesus has revealed who he is. And so in the middle of all of this, in the chaos and exaltation and strain, Peter falls at the knees of Jesus and he says, depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. And certainly he's thinking of his past sins, but I think also on his mind are his more recent ones, that he has grumbled through all of this, that he has been blind, that maybe even he has been angry. So it's very beautiful. Simon Peter on his knees before Jesus, because now this is him authentic and sincere. There's no longer any prickly exterior, but his heart is unveiled. And he's saying, I am not worthy to be near you. I am not worthy to carry you in my boat. I am not even worthy to do what you tell me to do. So Simon only saw a man initially, but it was God the whole time. And initially he was grumbling and unwilling. And when Jesus reveals himself, all this turns into overwhelming gratitude for a gift that he realizes he is not worthy to receive. So reading this gospel, I say, St. Peter, pray for me who am unaware while I grumble, that it is God who has chosen my poor boat this morning. I see more work, and I have no idea of the blazing holiness that has come so close. Who are we that God would reveal himself to us? Who are we that we can pronounce God's holy name? Who are we that God would take on human flesh to save us from death? Who are we that when we pray, God listens and hears us? When presumption goes away, gratitude and joy grow. Is there a cost to discipleship? Yes. And it is our greatest honor to pay. Is there a burden to carry if we follow Jesus? Yes. It's the cross of my Lord, which is a glory I could never deserve. Will I suffer if I say yes to Jesus, if I give myself to him? Yes, you will suffer, you will go through difficulties, you will be misunderstood or rejected or ridiculed. Will I suffer? Yes. And to suffer for God is a gift that I am not worthy to receive.